Welcome back to Dano Does Things. As promised in a previous video, this week I am going to show you how I finish embroidery hoops for display like this one here. You're going to need craft felt, an embroidery thread, and an embroidery needle to complete this. As a bonus, you can coordinate the color of your embroidery hoop to your project instead of the normal wooden hoop. I find it best to prime the wood with something like gesso before going in with acrylic paint, letting all the layers dry completely in between. Alright, let's begin. You'll need to trim the edge of your finished piece so it goes about an inch past the edge. To secure the edge, we'll start with a length of embroidery thread that is as long as the circumference of your hoop plus 4 inches. Tie a knot about 2 inches from the end of the thread, doing a double knot to keep it extra secure. Put your needle through the front of the fabric, about a 1/4 inch from the edge of the fabric. From here, you'll make long running stitches all the way around the edge, with each stitch being about an inch long. Make sure your last stitch comes from the back of the fabric through to the front right beside your starting knot. Now we're going to pull on the loose end of the thread to gather all the fabric together. Pull it along to make sure it's nice and taut. Secure both ends by tying them in a tight double knot. Snip off any long ends. Now we need our craft felt. Cut out a circle that is the same size as the inside ring of your embroidery hoop. We are going to attach this piece of felt to the fabric of our finished piece using a blanket stitch. If you want to use a single length of thread to do this, you'll need a very long length of embroidery thread, so just be careful not to get it tangled up because it'll be prone to do that. Tie a double knot on the end. Start by bringing your needle under and up through the fabric of your finished piece right near the top edge. Grab your felt and pull your needle through the very edge of the felt, pulling the thread through to bring the felt to the back of your project. Bring your needle down through the felt about an inch directly below your first stitch. Then come back under the felt and the fabric and bring your needle out at the top edge at the same spot as your first stitch. This stitch will secure everything in place while we work on our blanket stitches. Now I've always found this stitch a little tricky to get my head around, so I'll try to explain as easily as I can. Hold your thread to the left of your first stitch. Bring your needle an inch to the left of your first stitch and about an inch down from the edge. Try to catch the felt and the fabric with your needle as you then bring it up right at the edge of the hoop. Begin pulling your thread through. Now make sure your needle is coming up through the loop of thread, catching it as you tighten it. And that's one stitch done. I'll go over it once more. Pull your thread tail to the left. Bring your needle down into the felt and fabric 1 inch to the left of your last stitch and 1 inch down from the edge of the hoop. Pull the thread through, making sure it's coming up between the loop you made, catching it and pulling it tight. Continue the process all the way around the hoop, making sure that if your fingers are sweaty like mine were and you can't pull the needle through, to wash your hands or even use pliers if you really can't get it through. Often I'll coordinate my thread color with the felt so my stitches disappear, but I used this contrasting one so it would be easier to see. Alright, let's jump ahead. Now say you struggled pulling a stitch through like I did and you realized you didn't catch the thread in the top loop. Don't worry, it's an easy fix. Pull the last thread out a little bit and simply draw your needle back through the loop. Pull tight, making sure to adjust the stitches as you pull. Continue until you are about 1 inch away from your first stitch. Put your needle through the felt at the top of your very first stitch and pull through. Tie a knot between the felt and the fabric to secure your stitches and snip off. And you're done! A pretty and easy way to clean up the back of your embroidery hoop pieces. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.